Hello, friends, it's Phil, and if I haven't told you before where I'm coming from, where I'm broadcasting from, well, let me share with you the exact location. Are you ready? Have you got a pen? Are you pondering, where is he in the world? Well, look, I'm in a town just on the edge of the town of Harrogate, and that's in North Yorkshire. And as I've probably mentioned before, it's not too far from Scotland. I think it's around about 2 hours from Scotland, actually, in a car. So it's not too far. But today's weather, and mulling over the the weather podcast I did the other day, the weather today is utterly crap, utterly rubbish, completely flawed in so many ways, particularly when you do what I do, grow lawns. So, overnight temperatures, 3 degrees. Day temperatures, 9 degrees. Forecasted highs today, and I don't know where exactly this high is coming from, 15 degrees. I can honestly tell you that it's not going to be 15 degrees where I am, even though the weather systems like MetCheck and BBC weather would indicate that there's going to be a temperature like that. Now, I do hope that the weather does get to the heady heights of 15 degrees at some point this year, because so far there was a little sprinkling earlier in April. But seeing as it's now kind of coming into May and we've got a couple of bank holidays and we've got the King's coronation, you'd hope for a bit of decent weather. Oh, but here's a joke that I heard about not a joke, but a statement about the King of the United Kingdom, Prince Charles. It wasn't necessarily targeted at Prince Charles, by the way. This is an observational statement, really. Obviously, the idea of monarchy and kingness, if that's a word, is very, very restricted to just a tiny, tiny handful of countries around the world. It's a very antiquated, old-fashioned way of constructing a society. The royalty, the upper class, the middle class, the lower class, the working class, and all of the rest of it that comes in the English political system. There was a saying that said, in the future, there will only ever be 5 kings left. Those 5 kings are the King of Hearts, the King of Spades, the King of Clubs, and the King of Diamonds, and the King of England. That's a curious observation on the old-fashionedness, the steadfastiness, the weirdness, let's say, the antiquatedness of the societal system in the UK. Anyway, where am I going with this podcast today? Right, so weather's meant to be here, spring's meant to be here, weather's crap, it's cold, it's not very good. But the good news is I'm feeling a warmth, a glow, a gentle optimism in my demeanour. I have a slightly gentle hop in my mood today. A gentle hop. Yes, I like that metaphor. A gentle hop. I feel slightly optimistic that the future's a little bit better than the moments that have just passed. And there's lots of reasons for that. But, my friends, the biggest reason for my gentle hop is, and if you've listened to some of the previous podcasts, I love that statement, by the way, I will have talked about the yearbook, the All Gardening yearbook. Now, for the last 2 years, I've made the effort of producing a book of some some value. Last year's book, which I actually think was done kind of the previous year, really, was a little memento to my mother that passed away. That was the foundation thinking behind the yearbook. It was kind of a book that kind of gravitated, gathered, pondered, and projected the past into the future. It was kind of like a, a, a tangential kind of pivotal. It has a tangential pivotal purpose about it. The book. It's kind of like saying, "Here was a year that was, but here's the optimism in the year ahead." And I think that's really interesting from a yearbook perspective. It's not just reflecting. It's not like a Facebook. It's not like a yearbook. It's not like saying, "Here's all the people," and that's where they were, and actually where they go next is less relevant, really. The yearbook is really, and this is only the second year of doing it, it's really being constructed to springboard, let's say, an ideology into the forward year. So, the yearbook 2023, I completed yesterday. Haha, my friends. Yes, I completed it finally. It took a massive amount of hours and many, many revisions. I did not only the design, which was tricky and challenging and changed many, many times to get it just right. I didn't only gather all the photos, a lot of them from the All Gardening Facebook group, the All Gardening Cafe, and some of them from my day to day murmurings and wanderings. But keep in mind that the content of the yearbook has all been produced, has all come from many, many people, their observations of the world around them in the year that was 2022. Not just my observations, but many, many people's observations. I think that's a really interesting concept as well. Gathering a multitude of minds and observations and information and stuff, gathering it, pulling it in. It's kind of like in my head, I've got this kind of like, got these two sort of symbolic kind of things dancing together, which is one is the gentle hop, and the other one is basically the black hole, kind of pulling the black hole in its power to pull things in to it. I know the black hole, basically things go into it and then they're lost forever. But in the metaphor of the gentle hop and the black hole, we've got something that pulls stuff in, but projects stuff out. So, yearbook 2023 has been done. And what I've done for reference, and I know you might be interested in the yearbook, what I've done is I've only produced 3 copies. And you're wondering, why only 3 copies, Phil? That's not many copies, is it? Well, look, the first thing is I wanted to go to a printer that gave me the ability to just do a tiny print run. Just have a little look at it, just to check it one last time before I committed myself to a larger print run. So I've done three books. The format's going to be A4. So it's going to be it's just under 80 pages. It's full of stories, full of chatter, full of pictures, full of thoughts. It's kind of a thinking book. So I've done it, and actually it's a huge relief. It's a huge relief, a massive piece of work. I committed myself that I'd finished it in April, and I finished it, and I have absolutely finished it. Mind-bogglingly focused effort to get that done, and it looks really, really, really good. I honestly think it's a great piece of work. And there's some really interesting contributors in it that I'll tell you about another day. Well, actually, I kind of alluded to it in yesterday's podcast that there was a secret mind contributing to it. So it'd be interesting to see how that character connects with those that receive it. It'd be very interesting to see that, actually. So Yearbook's done. April's done. May is coming, and the season's well behind previous years, and it's a little bit quiet at the moment. The reason why I know it's a little bit quiet at the moment is, one, I know it's a little bit quiet because they say inquiries are coming in dribs and drabs is the wrong word, but they're coming in little spates between the weather, they say. But I also use I've taken the opportunity to use a trending tool. Yes, let's call it that. Another bit of AI, another bit of intelligence, actually. It's funny, isn't it? All gardening's not really being driven just by hunch and guess. It's being driven quite a lot by artificial intelligence, AI. But Google has this platform called Google Trends. And actually, if you do a search on Google Trends for lawn care, this is assuming that is when people are looking to buy advertising for lawn care, and people are, on the other hand, looking for lawn care. You can see from the data that we are only about 56% of the maximum for those audiences, the audience that wants to advertise and the audience that wants to buy. We're only halfway there to the peak, and usually, looking at the data, the peak will have already have peaked, let's say, but the peak's going to come in May as opposed to April. So that's an interesting observation, isn't it? I guess I'm just thinking out loud. So let's go back. Here's the little thing that I'm offering you the chance to contribute towards. And I know that this podcast is listened to people around the world, in 104 countries to be exact, as I've mentioned in previous podcasts. Wonderful, 104 countries. But look, one of the largest audiences that listen to my whisperings is in the United States. And I've got this idea that I'm going to throw out there to the United States. The lawn care market in the USA is some 20 times larger than the UK. At least. But here's the thing. I'm not so worried about that thought. What I'm thinking is like the yearbook's something that's come from the evolution of a community. And the community that it's come from, let's say, are on Facebook. There's just under 6,000 people on the Facebook All Gardening Cafe group. There's probably about 150 people that contribute to that activity of the group, and everyone else is kind of lurkers, observers, and participants of some description. But there's probably about 200 people contributing to the book worldwide in some capacity. And I guess the thought that I'm mulling over at the moment is, I wonder whether the yearbook would be something that other people in other parts of the world would to receive or buy. So here's the thing that I'm pondering. As I said earlier in the podcast, is I'm only printing 3 copies of the book for now. 1 for me to unwrite, and 2 to give away to very, very, very specific people to have a look at, to see what they think, to see where they think it could go in terms of how valuable it would be to them, because they may be customers or friends or connections, but also to a wider audience. So the yearbook, the one thing that I'm pondering, and I'm sorry if I'm lingering and longering on this question, but the one thing I'm pondering is that if I do a print run of this book, the biggest risk in it is, if I print, I spend money. So I take the money from my bank and I transfer that money into books. Now, and I'm going around the plug hole a bit with this. And if you're wondering where that metaphor comes from, around the plug hole, let's just say ideas drop down the plug hole and eventually. But at the moment, the idea is circulating. Just to give you that reference. But I'm wondering, should I? Well, with the platform, sorry, with the platform that I'm using, or the printers that I'm using, I can do single copy printing. So I think I can do the yearbook printing on demand. Should I do that? It sounds like a good idea. And therefore, on the All Gardening website, I could create a page, the yearbook, and actually every time an order comes through, I could print a book. The problem is there's probably going to be a lag in lead time there. So for every book, there's going to be a 5 to 7 day delay. And actually, to some extent, if I gamble, if I risk doing a bigger print run, say 100 books or 200 books, I'll end up getting a much cheaper price per unit, and therefore the price of selling the book could be cheaper, or the profit I make could be a bit more. Because keep in mind, I have put a huge amount of hours into producing this book, and maybe it's got some value. Well, it has got some value. So do I do print on demand? I don't think it's a good idea. I think for now, it is a good idea. The books, for reference, on demand, the printing that I'm doing, the A4 softback books that I'm producing, 100 pages, is costing about 15 quid a book. £15 per book. It's quite expensive, isn't it? You'd say. But here's the other thought inside of the yearbook, which is probably more important than anything, actually. The yearbook is a summary of the year, and to some extent, to close off the year, I feel like the yearbook should have a committed print run, a one-time print run, a print run that starts and ends, and that's it. You know, it's almost this close off 2023 with a print run. So I partly think to myself, if I do one print run, there will be no more reprints of the book. Every yearbook will be a unique document for you or someone else to own, to keep, and to enjoy. But there will never be another rerun, never be another reprint. And I'm thinking to myself at the moment, with this yearbook, they say the second, but the first really good formatted yearbook, I'm wondering, and maybe you can help me, because I'm going to put a question on this podcast that you can answer either way if you'd like to, is I'm pondering whether or not I should print 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, however many, or do I not print any at all and I wait for people to be interested? Or do I just give the yearbook to people that message me? Or do I give the yearbook to people that are my customers? I don't know. As you can tell, I'm circling the plug hole of thinking around this at the moment. I'm pondering. I'm philosophizing. I'm thinking. I'm dreaming. If anything, I'm looking and thinking about next year's yearbook already, because let's just say the amount of effort that went into producing this book and the commitment and the sheer determinedness of doing it has been quite cathartic, and actually I'm quite proud that I've done it. Quite proud I've done it. But it wasn't easy at all, and it could get better. It could get better. It could get better. Given time, resources, and a bit more funding, let's say, it could get better. It will get better. It's as simple as that. But anyway, dear friends, and obviously my friends in the United States, the question I pose to you, my friends, is would you be interested in having a copy of the yearbook wherever you are in the States? Why not drop me a message? You can find an easy way to contact me on multitude of platforms. I'm not hiding. It's very easy to contact me either through email, WhatsApp, whatever. But maybe, my friends, maybe you think the yearbook, the All Gardening Yearbook 2023, is something you would like to have or you'd like to give to someone. And if that is the case, my friends, then please reach out to me. A gentle hop. If you're in the States, a gentle hop across the pond to the United Kingdom is what you need to do to give me the metaphorical wave. Anyway, look, that was a bit of a long podcast. I do apologise. But look, thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you for those who contributed to the yearbook. And if you haven't joined the All Gardening Cafe on Facebook yet, go hunt it out. It's a great community. Very, very caring. Everyone knows your name. Great banter. And supportive in so many ways. So many ways. Anyway, that's enough for me. It's Friday. I've got a couple more lawns to visit now in the afternoon, and then the day is done. And then this evening, I shall be enjoying some drinks with friends, celebrating the bank holiday, which comes on Monday. The first of 3 in May, and the last one, the King's coronation, which I'm sure everyone across the world, or many billions of people across the world, will watch, because it's fascinating, isn't it? And let's be honest, the English do pageantry, royal pageantry, military pageantry, incredibly well. A beautiful construction, orchestrated event will be with us in May. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for listening, guys. Take care. Bless you all. Ta-da. See you soon. Bye. See ya. Adios. Ta-da. Bye.